What is good, people? Satsuki the Savage here, and today is day 9 of 12 days of anime, and today I'll be giving you my top 5 manga chapters from this year. And just to specify one thing, I'm only choosing one chapter per series, because honestly, Attack on Titan could rack up the numbers, but I want to have some diversity. So with that being said, let's get started. In the 5 spot, we have Quintessential Quintuplets, chapter 82. With this chapter, I got my good dose of Nino. This was in the aftermath of Miku discovering that Ichika was lying and impersonating her in an elaborate attempt to get closer to Futaro. Miku was at the lowest she's ever been. She lost a great deal of confidence in herself, starting to feel insecure about her cooking, her grades, and her looks in comparison to Ichika and Nino. However, Big Sis Nino saved the day in her own unique way. Nino goaded Miku to not give up in her pursuit of love by proclaiming her own love for Futaro while also letting Miku know that she respected her as a rival. The nail in the coffin though was Nino pointing out that if Miku thought that she and Ichika were cute, then by extension, she herself will also be cute since they are quintuplets. Nino's comments weren't some deep, profound message or anything like that, but it gave Miku the comfort she needed in a Nino-esque manner, and it reinforced the theme of the quintuplets having their differences but being one and the same. Number 4 is Tatoe Tadokano Itoda Toshitemo, or My Unrequited Love, chapter 21. I'm fond of this chapter because I felt like it was a major turning point in the series. My Unrequited Love usually moves at a snail's pace when it comes to advancing the plot, but this chapter was different. Here, we finally see the consequences of Uta's confession to Kaoru. Kaoru is visibly anxious when talking to Uta, and she herself can't pinpoint exactly why. Is it simply because the atmosphere is awkward now, or does she return these immoral feelings of love? Either way, this time Kaoru doesn't have the option to act oblivious and push aside Uta's love, because Uta boldly confesses again in the most direct way possible so that nothing could be left in the air for interpretation. Kaoru then literally pushes Uta away, but it's a bittersweet moment for Uta because although the love doesn't seem to be mutual, she's happy that she was able to convey her feelings properly. After all the hints, denials, and repressed thoughts, this chapter was a breath of fresh air. Uta no longer had a need to hide herself, and Kaoru had to take her cap off and stop acting blind. It was the progression I craved, and it showed the maturity disparity between Kaoru and Uta. Sitting in the 3rd spot is Blooming to You, chapter 38. The 3rd love story in a row before I get into the meathead material. Just like Unrequited Love, this chapter involved a confession. Sayaka is my favorite character in Blooming to You, so a chapter focused on her was already going to be a plus for me, but what I really liked was Nanami answering Sayaka's confession. Sayaka's feelings have been alluded to for a long while, so when Nanami finally sunk the ship, it hurt for sure, but it also removed the weight of uncertainty. This is also where Nanami realizes her own feelings for Yu after some great dialogue that can be applied to real life. Nanami's idea of love was always confused because she didn't know how she should feel about a person she loves changing. Her philosophy was that her love interest should stay the same. However, Sayaka's idea of love was having a trust in someone to not change what made you fall in love with them in the first place. As long as they aren't completely different fundamentally, changes are okay. Again, I believe people can take away points from that talk in real life, and as for the chapter itself, it was the catalyst for Nanami to pursue her love for you. Number 2 is Attack on Titan, chapter 124. Alright, this was a really hard choice for me because there was a wide range of quality chapters Isayama gave us this year, but I'm choosing 124 because I had a mixture of great events. First, the parallels and callbacks were welcome, whether it be Gabby looking in the mirror like Eren, Gabby saving Kaya reminiscent of Sasha, Commander Shada saving the trainees, channeling his inner Levi, the list goes on and on. Then, you have everything being complete chaos in this chapter. Colossal Titans are marching, normal Titans are terrorizing folks, Connie is kidnapping Falco to use as a sacrifice, Yelena has gone catatonic due to the absence of Zeke, Reiner said, "Fuck all this shit. I got my ass whooped enough," and is snoring through a war. The disarray was beautiful. There were also wonderful character moments, like John coming to terms with Eren's actions. My favorite moment of Gabby to Shata being redeemed in the best way possible. Everything I said thus far was all that I needed for me to label the chapter as great, but then Isayama the madman but the last 2 pages shook the Attack on Titan community. Annie was finally free at last from that damn crystal. The fans got what they wanted after 91 chapters, after more than 7 years passed since the last time we seen Annie not on ice in present time. And with the lore of what Annie's role will be moving forward, and also what will happen between Falco and Connie, this chapter was everything for me. And number 1, very fittingly, One Punch Man, chapter 101. This chapter was early in the year, way back in January, but let me remind folks of the greatness of Zombie Man. There are a few times when I completely changed my view on a character in a positive light in a short span of just 1 chapter, but that's exactly what happened with my immortal friend. Zombie Man came in wrecking shit, catching bodies like John Wick, hunting vampires like Van Helsing. I think Zombie Man's more grounded style of fighting with hatchets and guns is dope, and with his undead body, he can fight with reckless abandonment, and he compensates for a lack of combat ability, wearing opponents down in the battle of attrition. From start to finish, I loved every moment of this chapter. Zombie Man breaking his bones, firing off those explosive rounds, finding out Zombie Man died 200 times and still took the dub, and the monsters thinking Zombie Man was trying to escape when he actually locked them in with him. And after all of that fighting, after we see Zombie Man's body batter and mangle, this fucker takes a smoke break and says, "I bet. Time to find some more ops." I don't care what anyone says. That chapter was the apex of what is defined as raw. Alright people, that concludes my list. Let me know some of your favorite chapters from this year. But guys, that is it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. Satsuki the Savage, out.
Am I dying to live, or am I living to die? Living a lie, with my head stressed out, see I'm stressed out.